I'm Sheriff Terry Langley, Carroll County Sheriff. I think I've met most of you or know many of you. The reason today for us showing this in-car camera video is because of just to show you how dangerous a situation it was Monday morning and the heroic actions of all the officers involved. Be mindful we can't answer a lot of questions because we don't want to in any way affect the investigations that the Georgia Bureau of Investigations is doing, but we wanted you to get some idea of how dangerous it was. This was in a residential area, actually in front of a house of two elderly people that live there that have we've been in contact with that heard all the shots, and it's also where two of the officers were wounded in this clip, or have been. One has been wounded and one gets wounded when the suspect shoots inside of the patrol car. Having said that, I'll turn it over now to our Communications Director, Ashley Hulsey.
If you want to bump that light, just go ahead. It's okay, you're good. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to walk you kind of through step by step what happened. This is just with our dash cam video that we're releasing from the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. So what you're looking at right now, and I'm going to pause it throughout, it's a very short clip just so you can kind of get acclimated to the situation. So this is at the area, and I think a lot of you responded close to that scene. This is at the area where Whitworth Road and Highway 61 come in across from the Georgia State Patrol Post where we were at the other day at our command center. Prior to this deputy, which we're looking at Corporal Trout's dash cam video, prior to this, Carroll County deputies along with multiple other agencies had fallen into pursuit with these suspects. We knew that they were armed and dangerous because they had already shot at a Georgia State trooper who had advised that they were using what appeared to be a high-powered rifle at that time. Corporal Trout's video actually picks up at the moment that Sergeant Rob Holloway with the Carrollton Police Department was shot through his windshield and wrecked his vehicle. Officers stopped to render aid to him, and multiple other officers, including our agency and others, continued pursuit of the suspects. A little ways up from where he is stopped at this moment, the suspect vehicle did crash. So what our guys are doing right now, and what you won't see in this clip, is there was a good amount of traffic. This is a pretty heavily traveled area here on Highway 61 that connects the city of Carrollton as well as I-20 up in Villa Rica. So they had actually stopped traffic and was turning traffic around because they knew that the suspects were dangerous. They knew they had no regard for human life, so they were trying to get that area completely evacuated, like I said, just to keep innocent people from getting hurt. So that's what you're seeing here is they're setting up a perimeter and they're trying to locate the suspect. So I'm going to stop it again right here. So what has happened, and it's hard to hear his radio traffic because Corporal Trout and Deputy Repetto, who was also injured in this incident, they were outside of their vehicles. They were trying to figure out which way the suspects were going. They heard gunfire, and that would be at the time that the suspect was shooting at Officer Chase Gordy, who works for the Villa Rica Police Department. Corporal Trout and Deputy Repetto get into Corporal Trout's vehicle, and you'll see them go up to the incident location. All right, So they have turned on this side road. What you see in the distance is going to be Officer Gordy's vehicle. At that time, they were unclear on where he was located. You're going to hear some radio traffic, and they begin to tell them that they have an officer down near the elementary school, right past Officer Gordy's car. Ithaca Gin Elementary School is in that area, and Officer Gordy was actually down on the side of the road in that area. He had been shot twice. Well, he'd been shot multiple times, actually. So when they find out that Officer Gordy is down, what you hear Corporal Trout saying is they get back in the vehicle and he says, we need to move down further because they're trying to locate him so they can get help. All right, at this moment, as they're coming up, and as you can see, this suspect appears out of nowhere. And the reason for that is you've got the blue lights of Officer Gordy's car coming. As they are approaching, they don't see him till they are right up on this suspect. All right. So what actually happened in that clip is Corporal Trout is driving towards this suspect, and he obviously is engaging with an AK-47. He stops Corporal Trout's vehicle in its tracks because he shoots the front of the vehicle, the headlights go out, it actually completely disables his vehicle. Matter of fact, his vehicle was still in drive when help arrived, so the vehicle was completely disabled. Corporal Trout and Deputy Repetto did return fire from within the vehicle. One round did strike Deputy Repetto in his arm while he was inside the vehicle, and they were able to take the suspect down. Once he was down, he did succumb to his injuries. They were able to go and render aid to Officer Gordy and get him out of there. Now keep in mind at this time, this is the only suspect that we had engaged with. We were not familiar where the other suspect was. He was located a short time later at a shorter distance away, but at that time it was still a very active scene, and we were trying to get ambulance personnel and different people in to render aid to Officer Gordy and to Deputy Repetto because they had been injured during that gunfire. So what I will do at this time is I'm going to send you over this press release. I'm going to send you the clip of the chase or the shooting. If you have any questions, I mean, we'll try to do the best we can, but we're really not getting into the aspect of the criminal case because that is GBI's deal on that. So if you have an email or a Dropbox that you would like for me to send this to that I don't already have, now would be the time to go ahead and give that to me. Yes, ma'am. Can you just go back a couple frames? Yeah, I was going to say, can you just... Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is going to be up on our Facebook page momentarily as well with the full press release and the video. Yes, ma'am.
When the shots were fired, approximately?
I'm not sure.
And, the AK-47 that GI confirmed was the weapon that Lucy used?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
When you said that Corporal Trout,
Yes.
right, returned fire, so was it the bullets from his gun that hit the suspect?
I'm unsure. GBI is investigating that aspect.
So again, can you tell us who's in the car and where they're?
Yes, so on Monday, you know, 3 names were released of the different officers from the different agencies that were injured by gunfire. Deputy Jay Repetto was in the passenger seat that was shot in the arm during this exchange.
And so, Corporal Trout is the one driving,
Yes, it was his vehicle.
and it appears that the suspect is aiming at Corporal Trout?
It appears that he's aiming inside the vehicle and he is engaged, and I don't think he was worried about hurting anybody for sure.
It appears that at one point, after he shot into the car, he then fires a round that appears not related to hitting the car, but maybe aiming at the deputy, is that the case?
I'm unclear on that. Like I said, GBI has been provided all of this as well, so they are looking more in depth into angles and gunfire and how many rounds and those particulars.
And how many people returned fire from the?
2. So Corporal Trout and Deputy Repetto. I will say that they were not alone. Coweta Sheriff deputies were actually behind them during this exchange of gunfire, but they were unable to do anything due to crossfire, and they, you know, because they didn't want to injure our guys in the process, but they were right there with them when this happened. We have multiple jurisdictions and agencies from all over the place there with us.
So Officer Gordy is down at this point?
Yes, he is. He
And
is.
that's his car?
That is his vehicle, and he was down. He had been shot multiple times.
And where was he in relation to the vehicle?
When you're looking at the vehicle there, there's like a utility pole that you'll be able to see in that video, and he was located in that vicinity.
Okay. So, safe to say maybe the suspect didn't see him then?
I'm unclear. I'm not sure, but I will tell you that if it had not been for Deputy Trout or Corporal Trout and Deputy Repetto, and all the heroic, like the sheriff said, actions of all agencies and officers involved, I really think that we would have had more carnage than we did if they had not been stopped.
Just to be clear,
Yes.
actually, this was a semi-automatic AK, not fully automatic.
I could not answer that. I have not seen the gun personally. I know that GBI has that. I would hate to make an assumption, so I would not be able to answer that question.
Don't know what kind of rounds was chambered in.
I do not. Yes, ma'am.
Has Officer Gordy been released from the hospital?
Based on Villarica's report this morning, yes, he has been released from the hospital. So we're very, very thankful for that.
So the other officers are out as well?
So Deputy Repetto was released on Monday. He was released and is recovering with his family at home. Officer or Sergeant Rob Holloway is still at Grady, and I think Carrollton PD is doing a fantastic job keeping everybody updated through their social media posts. And I think maybe he has a Caring Bridge page now you might can follow for updates from his family. But Officer Gordy was released from the hospital last night.
Actually, have
Yes.
you seen the vehicles involved? Can you describe?
I have. So what I will also send in concert with the video, the press release, and I will send you a picture of Corporal Trout because that has not been released yet. I do have a picture of his vehicle that I will release to you that will show that windshield and how they took fire through that.
You're PIO for the town, but you spent many years as a road deputy.
I did.
What's your reaction to watching that?
You know, I have seen a lot in my years as a patrol officer. I came from Villarica Police Department, so obviously it's very near and dear to my heart. Watching this video, it sent chills up my spine because I know each and every one of those guys. We work side by side with them every day. These agencies really come together in a time of crisis. It's not about Carrollton PD or Villarica PD or Carroll County Sheriff's Office. It's about us being united as one here in Carroll County, and that's what we are. I'm just so thankful that they're alive, and I pray for Rob Holloway and that he makes a full recovery. it's just really emotional. So being a deputy myself and knowing how much this community loves us, the outpouring of support that we have gotten has been completely overwhelming. And regardless of the bad things that you may see about police officers in the news, we got a good group here, and they're here to protect our people, and that's exactly what they did on Monday morning.
Along those lines, and this is my 40th year in law enforcement, and it shook me to the core. But also, we've had many people in that neighborhood that we've had to console, and going out to see today, that yard there where all the shooting happened around the Villarica police car, an elderly couple lived there and heard every shot, and they're still traumatized by it. So we're going out today to offer that. We're having peer counseling today at the office for that shift, and anybody at our office that wants to come just to start talking about it, because it's really, you know, in this business you have a lot of tragedy, but this one has really touched the community as well as the department. So we're in the process of checking everybody out, even after they heal from their wounds, making sure everybody's healed from their emotional state as well. Thank you.
All right, well, if that's it, if you have, like I said, a Dropbox account that you'd like me to send all this to, I will. Some of it will come from Dropbox, some of it will come through email. It is up on our Facebook page now. You can also pull the video from there, and if I can help you guys in any other way, just let me know.